Welcome along. In this webinar we are going to look at InterHerdplus and specifically priority culls, which is the new feature within the Yoni's area. Under Reports and Yoni's Disease Analysis you will find a main table containing all of the Yoni's results since the herd started testing. Most recent data is at the top, and it gives a really nice summary of average test value, how many or what percentage of J5s we've had, how many J4s coming through as lactation 1, and then we have a figure for the number of priority culls. So what defines a priority cull? Any cow that is tested over 100 as a test value, or 2 consecutive test values over 60. And we can identify these cows really quickly using the bottom table and priority culls. So every table in InterHerdplus has a filter line, this one here. Some of them are drop downs. You can click on the arrow, deselect what you don't need. So in this case I only want the yes ones. Click accept. I press enter on the keyboard and that will filter out these cows. So not only are we concentrating on J5s and J4s, but we're also looking for those that meet the criteria for these priority culls as well, which may not be the worst offenders in the herd so far. Now you can sort this table into anything really, any of the columns that are available, just by clicking on the header. And again, if necessary, we then have our herd in order of J result. We also have over here the status of these cows, so some of them may well have gone since that test date, all of their tests since they started, and the status of the birth dam as well. And there's a whole raft of heifer analysis where we can look at the dam Yoni's status in addition. Up here we've got a Yoni's graph, so trend over time over the last 2 years. You can see the proportion of J5s we've got in the herd, so positive. Now InterHerdplus has another section, and that's PNEG, which is this orange band here. So these cows are ones that had a low test at the last result, but have had a high test previously. So they might well be some of these over 100s before they hit the J5. And we can go back to the summary page, have a look at the Yoni status for the last test result, and filter out the PNEG through there. So again, click in the filter box, deselect all, PNEG, accept, enter. And you can just compare these to the Yoni's official status. You see a lot of these are zeros, which normally would be no cause for concern. They could rumble along at low values throughout, but for example this one has had one high test and remained pretty low ever since. Just those to keep an eye on in the background with that PNEG status. We also have a Yoni's tracker, which is looking at the average test value compared to other herds. So just like the KPIs that we've got right at the start of the programme, we are now in a position where we've collated this data over the last 10 years. About 200 herds worth of data, where we can see the top or bottom 25%, that's the red and green lines, the average middle in here, and then this blue line represents our herd. So you can see where we've come from, again over 2 years worth of data, slightly creeping up now on this one, but still at a very good level. So how that colour coding of pink and green is relevant, not only back here are we looking at the actual values within the herd, so average test value, but you'll see we've got a lot of dark green, which shows that we are at the top 25% of those Yoni's herds. Mint green is a bit further down, yellow is average, and pink is the bottom 25%. Now there's a help guide to go through all of these different settings and what all the different elements mean. If you go to help, quick guides, reports, and then Yoni's disease. It will open up in a separate part of the programme, talk you through all the results, And then down here, we've got the actual values for these quartiles. So the top 25% looking at no more than 2.2% of the herd being a J5. Back on the programme, another couple of areas of interest. J5 service likelihood, CF of others. Now CF is compared to, so how likely are we to serve these J5 cows? Well, at the moment it's a consistent 0, so nothing happening to those there. How likely are they to exit? So the higher the better here. 1.5 being 1.5 times more likely to get rid of a J5. In terms of annual monitoring, we've got the annual summary here, which puts all of the tests for each year into a summary. And all of these different elements are collated together in a document. So under the Documents menu, go to Preview, and then you should see General Yoni's Tracker. Now that came through on an automatic update, but if you can't see it on yours, then give us a ring. We can make sure you're updated fully. So this is what that report looks like. Several pages. We've got an annual summary here, and then it drills down to the latest test results. So there's the initial table. It shows you certain aspects in terms of cows that have been high. And then a couple of other bits for progressors. So these were between 60 and 100. The shedders that are between 30 and 60. New infections, so creeping up on J4s. These are ones we need to also keep an eye on. So you can print out this report, save it from the print preview as a PDF or as a Word document. You can run that for any herd that is testing through NMR as a herd-wise scheme, and all of that data will be downloaded automatically.